Zoom, but on YouTube. Okay. Boker Tov. I hope that your day is off to a great start, that you've had a wonderful Passover, wonderful Pesach, and a relaxing Shabbat, and that you're ready to begin the week with me. Um, this morning, this Sunday morning is uh, the eighth day after Passover began, but it is the seventh day of the counting of the Omer, which we're going to talk a little bit about what this period between Passover and Shavuot really is about, what it means. But it is an opportunity for us to look at each day and not just turn it into a number on a calendar, but to think about what are the opportunities that make this day particularly important out of the whole rest of the days of my life. And when we do that, we realize that every day we are given a chance to make our days count as much as we count them, and uh, to live as though we have been given a very precious gift. For in fact, that is what life is. And so we take a moment to express thanks for that gift, thanks for our bodies and souls which enable it, and begin our day together with gratitude. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher yatzar et האדם בחוכמה ובערבו נקבים נקבים חלולים חלולים גלוי וידוע לפני כיסא כבודך שאם ייפתח אחד מהם או ייסתם אחד מהם אי אפשר להתקיים ולעמוד לפניך Baruch atah Adonai rofei chol basar umafli lasot. Blessed eternal God, creator of the universe, you have fashioned our bodies with wisdom, creating within us a finely balanced network. To stand before you in prayer is itself a fragile miracle. Eternal God, we praise you as the healer of body and spirit. Elohai nishama shenatata bi tehora hi. Ata v'ata ata yetzorta, ata nefachta bi v'ata meshamra b'kirbi. כל זמן שנשמה בקרבי, מודה אני לפניך, אדוני אלוהי ואלוהי אבותיי, ריבון כל המעשים, אדון כל הנשמות. ברוך אתה, אדוני, אשר בידו נפש כל חי, ורוח כל בשר איש. The soul you have given me, O God, is a pure one. You have created it and formed it and breathed it into me, and within me you sustain it. So long as my soul is within me, I will give thanks to you, eternal my God and God of my ancestors, source of all creation, sovereign of all souls. We praise you, eternal God, in whose hand is the power of all life and the spirit of all flesh. We continue with the blessing for the study of Torah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו לעסוק בדברי תורה. והערב נא אדוני אלוהינו את דברי תורתך בפינו ובפי עמך בית ישראל. ונהיה אנחנו וצאצאינו וצאצאי עמך בית ישראל. כולנו יודעי שמך ולומדי תורתך לשמה. Baruch atah Adonai hamelamed Torah le'amo Yisrael. Blessed eternal God, creator of the universe, you sanctify our lives with mitzvot and command us to engage in Torah study. Eternal God, may your words of Torah be sweet to us, and let every generation, young and old, the whole family of Israel, come to know you through the study of Torah for its own sake. Eternal God, we praise you as the teacher of Torah to the people Israel. Now, when we look at this time in which we are counting the days between Passover and Shavuot, which we call Sfirat HaOmer, or the counting of the Omer. We have to understand what is an Omer, in fact, and why do we count it. Um, and this goes back to the Torah, which instructs us that in that on this beginning on the second day of Passover, a sheaf of barley from the barley harvest would be brought, and that sheaf weighed an amount that was called an omer. An omer is some fraction of a larger dry volume measure called an ephah. But here it really is meant to stand for this notion of a sheaf, a single sheaf, the first sheaf of the barley harvest that would be brought to the temple and waved as an elevation offering, and would begin the period that we call Sfirat HaOmer, that we would count the from the day of the sheaf, as it were, each day until Shavuot. And there are many reasons given for this. Rambam tells us that um, the act of counting is meant to heighten the importance or help us get excited for the holy day of Shavuot, the day of Matan Torah, which I think is fair given that Passover has such a tremendous importance in not only the calendar year, but in I think the psychology of the Jewish people, the imagination of the Jewish people, and Shavuot, which is Zman Matan Toratenu, the time of the giving of our Torah, um, has at times, I think it could feel like Passover's, lonely stepchild or something. And so it makes sense to me that we're counting all the days between Passover and Shavuot so that we stay excited for Shavuot, that we don't let Shavuot pass us by without, getting a little bit excited about it. But um, other commentaries teach about it differently, including the commentary of Ovadia Sforno. Rabbi Sforno was an Italian rabbi in the 18th century, and his commentary on the Torah is a way of explaining the pshat, the simple explanation, by means of the rational interpretation of Torah rather than the midrashim, which is what Rashi does. And here he says, um, he tells us in his commentary, excuse me, that's not the right screen that I'm meant to show, right? That um, mehechal haremes bekama. This phrase in the Torah, he explicates in the following way. The standing barley, which is to serve as the Omer offering, we already know from Exodus 9:31 that the barley crop ripens in the spring in the latitudes which include Egypt and the land of Israel. 7 weeks elapse between the beginning of the barley harvest and that of the wheat harvest, hence you are to count these weeks. And that at that time, when we arrive at the seventh week, it says, "V'hager v'hayatom v'ha'amana," the stranger and the orphan and the widow shall also join the rest of the community, rejoicing on the festival of cutting the wheat of the harvest, right? And he says, "Yisimchu b'chag hakatzir beleket u'pe'ah hamitzuyim ba'katzir." Their rejoicing will take the form of their collecting the corners from the field, which are left for those who are on the margins of society, and which the Torah sets aside for them, and to also the gleanings, the dropped pieces and sheaves of the harvest uh, that are dropped by laborers during the harvest. Those gleanings, those pieces on that fall on the ground, are also meant to be left for the marginalized in the community, and this is one of those things that one of the reasons we get excited and count towards this day. It's not just because it is a holiday which celebrates Torah, and it's not just because it's a harvest for us. It actually is a great example of simcha shel mitzvah, that we're excited for the opportunity to do good not only for our families and for our community, for ourselves, but for those in need, those who otherwise would not be able to feed themselves. Um, and I think that this is the essence of Torah, in a way, that when we have the opportunity to make someone's life better or easier, we are meant to look at it not as a burden, not as an obligation, but as a celebration, as an opportunity to to get excited about and to count towards, because we look forward to a time when our doing mitzvot will really matter. And this is a time that for our community today, I think that we're going to be talking a lot about in the next several weeks the opportunity to do a mitzvah that is coming for our community around the same time as Shavuot this year, which is to participate in the World Zionist Congress elections that are happening in Canada in about just 6 weeks. We we really do have an opportunity to know that our doing this mitzvah of participating in the election, of voting, and of helping others in our community to vote, can make a real difference. Because this year, especially, there is really there are really high stakes for the possibility of religious pluralism in Israel, for the um, values that we stand for as a people. And so I want to urge you all to get excited with me, not to be apprehensive or to think of the burden that we have to make a difference here, but of the simcha shel mitzvah, the joy at knowing that our doing this mitzvah together as a community, of participating in the conversation of the Jewish people, will actually make a difference on the ground. And with that, we'll continue, knowing that in the same way that mitzvot and Torah are two sides of the same coin, two sides of the same thing, which is the body, like the body and soul of the Jewish people. Um, in the same way, we experience God's oneness, and we affirm it when we say the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. ויאמר אדוני אל משה לאמור, דבר אל בני ישראל, ואמרת עליהם, ועשו להם ציצית על כנפי בגדיהם לדורותם, ונתנו על ציצית הכנף פתיל תכלת. והיה לכם לציצית, וראיתם אותו, וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני ועשיתם אותם, ולא תטורו אחרי לבבכם ואחרי עיניכם, אשר אתם זונים אחריהם, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. Well, today the is not only um, the seventh day of the counting of the Omer, and it's not only the time between Passover and Shavuot, but it is, in fact, the 562nd day since October the 7th, 2023, in which this war began and in which um, uh, hundreds of our people were taken prisoner and held hostage. There remain um, some 59 hostages in captivity, 24 of whom we believe to be alive. And the rest, sick as it is, remain hostage only uh, in their bodies being held ransom, basically, by cruel criminal terrorist organizations. And each day, no matter how long this goes, we must continue to pray and to hope and to work for their release and to advocate for them. And so we take a moment now to pray on behalf of those who've been held captive from among our people for far too long. אלוהינו מתיר האסורים משכב לדח, משכב לעיתות בצרה, שלח הצלה שלמה ופדיון גמור לכל הנתונים בשבי אויב. חזק כוחותם, שומרם מהרה, ויוציאם משעבוד לגאולה. Our God, who has been a refuge for the oppressed in times of trouble, send complete rescue and full redemption to those held captive from among your people, Israel. Strengthen their spirit and bring them our prayers that they may be protected from all harm and bring them out of their captivity. As our tradition teaches, Yikaeni ve'enehu imo anochi v'tzara, achaltzeu v'achabdeu v'nomar amen. They shall call upon me and I will answer them. I will be with them in distress. I will rescue them and honor them. And let us say together, Amen. We also take a moment to remember those in our community who are in need of healing and strength, those whose Pesach has been marked not by um, not by by the fullness of celebration and joy and freedom that we hope to experience at this time, but with pain and challenges that come with their health or their emotional state. Those in our community who are in need of healing and strength, we turn to God and pray for them, and also remind ourselves to work for them to make sure that they are not abandoned or forgotten about as we make our way through the week. מי שברך אבותינו אברהם, יצחק ויעקב ואימותינו שרה רבקה לאה ורחל, הוא ירפא את כל מכותינו, ויהי רצון מלפניך אדוני אלוהינו להחלימם ולרפאותם, וישלח לנו מהרה רפואה שלמה ועטרת שלום, ונאמר אמן. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Leah, and Rachel, heal those who suffer. And may it be your will to provide healing and strength, to reveal to us the holiness of life, the wholeness of shalom, and let us say together, Amen. Well, this morning we pause and we take a moment also to think of those in our community who are in need of healing and not healing and strength, sorry, excuse me, those in our community who have gone before us, whose lives have inspired us and who helped us become the people we are. In particular, this morning we remember those families in our community who are observing Shaloshim, the first 30 days of mourning, including the families of Valerie Fox, Gary Brown, and Nora Boyd. And it is our unfortunate duty to mention the death of our member, Irving Feldman. He died yesterday morning and will be remembered with a service at Benjamin's tomorrow, April the 21st, excuse me, at Benjamin's Park Memorial Chapel with interment to follow at Pardes Shalom Cemetery. For more information, please visit the Benjamin's Park Memorial Chapel website. We also remember at this time those in our community who died at this season in years past. On this 22nd morning of the month of Nisan, we remember those who for whom we observe Yahrzeit in our community, including Philip Epstein, the Kaufman and Rubin family, Joel Hoffman, Lindsay Hornblass, Shifra Gassi Jacobs, Abraham Kasoy, Faye Kay, Ruth Mendelson, Doreen Morris, and Jacob Silverstein. And we also remember all victims of terror and violence, including Moshe Musa Horn, and yesterday, a young man who was killed fighting in Gaza, a man named Jaleb Saliman al-Nasra, al-Nasasra, from who was from the Bedouin village of Rahat, who died in Gaza defending the Jewish state and the Jewish people. We hope that the memories of all of them will be a blessing, that they will be remembered for good, and that we will continue to remember them and honor them as we say Kaddish together. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemeh Rabbah. בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל. בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהא שמך רבה מברך לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמך דקודשה בריחו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירה בעלמא דברו, דאמירן בעלמא ואמרו אמן. יהא שלמה רבה מן שמיא, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. The source of peace, send peace to those who mourn and comfort to all who remember. And let us say together, Amen. Well, it's been really meaningful to me to begin the day and the week with you. I hope that your week is off to a good start, and that you'll join us 8:30 a.m. for Boker Tov here online, or 7:30 a.m. Monday through Friday for Minyan. And in the meantime, I hope you make it a great day.